In light of my previous offering about gratitude, grace, loving kindness, Tebuta Mayatri, I'd like to offer a quote from a book that I've read more than almost any other book besides maybe the Prophet, or there's a few, the Gospels, some of the Gnostic Gospels, forget it, I've read them hundreds, maybe thousands of times, but from As a Man Thinketh, from James Allen. This book was given to me by a very dear friends, I should say, Hank and Sandy. This is 10/27, so this is October 1993. This is down in, we had a Course in Miracles study group in their home in Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, back in 1993, and Sandy wrote, "Dale, we believe one day you will write something even better than this. We love you, and we wish you all God's blessings always." That's when I was moving from Pinellas County to Tampa that year, I believe. Amazing, too, because I was doing an event with Dr. Albert LaChance in a beautiful Episcopalian church, All Souls, in Peterborough, New Hampshire, in, I believe it was about 2008, maybe, and who comes walking up the aisle, and I'm like, oh my God, I hadn't seen her in many years, and it was Sandy, and it was incredible. She had said Hank had passed on, and she had moved back to Nashua, which was just a few minutes away from there. Albert and I were recording our Aramaic Lord's Prayer offering that's been all over the internet for years. A lot of people know exactly the one I'm speaking of. But we were filming and recording that night. Now this is from James Allen, talking about suffering. It's a little bit of a different take of the way I was approaching it in the last video. He says, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. I would add in wrong feeling as well, not simply thought. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. This is something we'll go into deeper in future videos. The sole and supreme use of suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. Suffering ceases for one who is pure. There could be no object in burning gold after the dross had been removed, and a perfectly pure and enlightened being could not suffer. We often set ourselves up for further suffering by trying to become a perfectly enlightened being, rather than shifting ourselves, as in the previous video, into a state of gratitude, into a state of the awareness of loving kindness, of relieving the suffering of others, of all sentient beings. And that includes the earth, that includes animals, that includes the people around us who we may think are total and complete blithering idiots. It's all involved, and there's not a lot you can do in the sense of another human who is not interested in wider awakening or compassion or empathy. But there's plenty you can do within yourself about how we perceive them. And that's the true work. In light of this truth, what then is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? It means that one is continually revolting against an effect without, while all the time nourishing its true cause in our hearts. How do you tap into the cause? Take a deep breath. Be silent, in the Aramaic word shelia, silence. And just pay attention. Be aware. I call it the cosmic question mark. To be able to walk into a room and simply be open, listen, pay attention, perceive, without needing to go to the level of forming thoughts. Just be open. In that openness, allow the gratitude and the loving kindness for the miracle that now is. If you really feel your way into it, how could it not be a miracle? Remember that in your prayers. Remember that in your gratitude. Remember that in the essence of the eternal light that you send out from your temple. I love you all so dearly.